Nothing in the world can get to me. When I'm on that track, there's nothing else that matters. Just going fast and turning laps, just trying to move forward. I could go skydiving or bungee jump, the adrenaline still doesn't compare. Taking that left turn fast as you can, the give and take, the bump, the bang. Trying to be the first to get to that checkered flag. I just wanna race my race. You gotta be fast or you're the worst. You gotta be fast or you're gonna get your just wanna race my race. You feel the rumble of the crowd as the cars go speeding by. All the dirt in the air, the smell of tires, cars passing back and forth.
And welcome back. This is Beers and Gears, episode 12. I'm Blade.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Zach.
Got Zach Keister here. So, who are you? Let them know who you are.
Well, Zach Keister. I'm from Darlington. Grew up there, lived there my whole life. Been racing, 5 years now? Started in 2020. Did a couple years in 4-cylinders, did a couple years in hobby stocks, and now we're kind of, we'll see.
We'll see?
We'll see. The hobby stock's tired. That's retired and wore out, so we might break the Neon out a time or two this year, but
Perfect. I'd love to see it.
yeah. It's a good-looking car.
It was the last time we had it out there anyway.
It's a little dusty now. We just got to get it out of the garage and wash it up. We'll be all right.
It doesn't take much to get dusty with a 4-cylinder.
No.
We left ours in the trailer for the winter and after Makokata, and it was just covered in dust just from sitting.
Yeah.
And that was one winter.
Yeah.
As opposed to 2 years for you.
Oh, yeah. It's just garage dust. It'll be fine.
So, what was your first racing experience, and about how old do you think you were about then?
First time I drove?
Watched, drove, whatever you remember.
Oh, man. We grew up watching NASCAR back when it was good. Mom and Dad had that on a lot. They used to go down to Indianapolis when the Brickyard 400 became a thing. 2000, we went to Daytona. Got to watch a couple of the duels. I think that was the year Ricky Rudd spun through the infield on his roof. Otherwise, kind of lost interest in. Well, there was a lot of time spent at Lafayette County Speedway when I was young. It was always a good time going down and watching races down there. Lost interest in that kind of around the high school time, but yeah, around 2020, I kind of had the realization that I could, as an adult, buy a race car.
Yeah.
So I did, and I bought Brad's car, and one of my friends.
That was a fun time too, huh?
Yeah, that was all right. One of my friends let me hot lap her Cavalier once, way back in the day. So then that kind of set that gear in motion.
Oh yeah, one lap and you're kind of hooked.
So yeah, I thought I was Dale Earnhardt for them 5 laps. Those hot laps at Lafayette County Speedway in a pink Cavalier.
Perfect.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's always the best start. I mean, and I told my aunt that she did powder puff in my car, and I told her after one lap, you're not gonna ever want to get out of this car. Not because it's the best car in the world, but you're just gonna be hooked.
I tried getting her dad. I tried getting my dad, my brother to drive the Neon once I got the hobby stock, and none of them. Well, her dad would do it, but my dad and brother, they didn't want to bite, and I don't know what it is.
And that's another thing I told them. If you're scared, just go out there, floor it one time, and then you're over it.
It's a Dodge Neon. It's not going to sneak out from under you.
No, no. You can do quite a bit to them.
Yeah,
you can wake them up quite a bit.
You can make them go, but it's still just a Dodge Neon.
Yeah. They're quieter than the Hondas, too.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be screaming to scare you anyway.
Well, I mean, I live in town, so the townsfolk appreciate that.
Yeah. I wonder how many complaints there are in Darlington.
For race cars, I don't know if there are too many. I tried being nice.
Well, you were with the police department, so you would know, right?
Never had any complaints for race cars. I did try to take it easy on my neighbors and make sure I was starting the car at reasonable times of the day.
Yeah, not 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I kept her off the chip most of the time. It is a 4-cylinder. You got to bounce it off the chip. It's the rules. I don't write them. But anyway, yeah.
That's how you baptize the car.
Of course.
It's ready after that.
It's not broken in until it hits the chip.
Yep.
So, some of your favorite drivers, who would they be? They could be local, could be professional.
Oh, growing up, it was always Ernie Irvin. Don't know how it came to be that way. Mom and Dad always liked him. I always liked him. Back when he was driving that number 28 for Robert
The
Yates.
Textile car.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that was a good
That was
one.
my first diecast, actually. My grandma bought me.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Kenny Schrader was always a favorite growing up. Going down to the track in Darlington, I was always kind of a homer. I liked the Darlington guys. That was back when Duke Roof was winning all the hobby stock races. Back when hobby stock was kind of what stock cars are now.
Right.
Who else? Oh, there was Lee Roof. He won some limited stock races, and I think he moved up to hobby stock as well. Brock Sauer and Eric Glendenning, those guys were in high school with me, so that was always kind of cool having them around. I was just a fan of the Darlington guys.
Yeah.
Hoping they did well.
So that's where you were, Darlington, right? You said.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the same way. I went to the track when I was little. I grew up with watching Jason Robbins and Kyle Hoffman and Eric Bowe eventually gets into it. They're all betting guys.
Oh yeah.
And they were all my sister's age, so my sister hung out with them, and I thought they were cool because of that.
Oh yeah, race cars.
Yeah, one of my best friends ends up being Eric Bowe, and he graduated my sister, so.
He's an alright guy.
Yeah. I've never had any complaints about him.
No. I mean, he wiped the floor with me for a year or two there, but
well, he did that with everybody for about 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't disappointed when he started go-kart racing with his kid. Let's put it that way.
Like, new champions, yes.
Somebody else. All right.
Or, yeah, we're kind of trying to pressure him to come back. But
well, let's not get in over our skis now. We don't need to take all the trophies again.
Well, he had a decent break.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years.
He's got some rust built up, let's put it that way.
Oh, man. He's fun to drive around with.
Yeah,
I've heard one person complain about him, basically. Maybe one or two, but in the time I raced, for a reason during the time I raced, only one person ever.
Yeah. No, I never.
But that person didn't like half the people at the track, and
yeah, that happens.
I don't think half the track liked him either, so.
Also happens.
So, what made you want to start racing? Or who, or?
Well, that was one of those deals. I mean, watching it on TV. Who doesn't like race cars when you're a 10-year-old boy? Growing up, I think I doodled race cars in my math notebooks more than I did math homework. And then, that opportunity to drive that 4-cylinder for hot laps presented itself. So, of course, I jumped at that. And then I just had that realization that I could, as an adult, buy a race car and drive it. So I did. It was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing, and it worked out all right.
That first click that you spend the money, you don't even think about it. You're like, race car is important.
It looked great sitting in my garage.
Exactly.
And I would go start it, and I would let it run, and I'd make the race car noises, you know.
And you're like, I'm officially a cool guy. I have a race car now.
Exactly. And then COVID happened, and I wasn't even sure I get to drive the darn thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We missed like 3 weeks into the season. We didn't know if we were going to even drive.
Yeah, I got a race car.
Then we raced with nobody in the crowd.
Oh, that's right.
That was horrible. Man. That was weird.
I forgot all about
No
that.
kidding.
For like 2-3 weeks, we raced with nobody in the stands.
Yeah.
They had Dunright come up and record us and stream it for us. And then finally we allowed them back in distancing.
Yeah.
And you couldn't be more than 10 people within a certain radius in the pits, too. You remember
distancing. That's right. I forgot all about that.
that? You guys don't have to wear a mask, but you can't stand with this amount of people.
Oh, yeah, with the gasoline fumes and the oil and all these chemicals.
COVID doesn't exist in the pits.
Yeah.
If it does, it's not leaving the body.
Yeah.
So what would you say most of your favorite racing experiences would be?
Oh, boy.
Like driving that hobby stock the last couple of years was fun. Building the Neon was fun. Being able to start with what was effectively a road car and then turn that into an actual race car, that was pretty cool. I haven't won anything, so I don't have any of those big grand moments. Closest I came to anything like that, I think the first year they had Iowa Dirt Nationals, I finished second. The first year they had that debut.
Yep.
I think I got second that night. I think I was racing Kyle Hawkins a little bit, so that was really cool.
It was like night one, basically?
Yeah. Yeah, it was colder than hell, and
Oh yeah, always
Yeah.
is.
had a good race with Kyle going on. He must have had a problem because I don't know how else I could have beat him, honestly. But that was fun. He was always good to race with. So yeah, those are about as good as it gets. Like to win one someday. We'll have to get the car out and do that.
That's definitely something that's fun.
Yeah.
And just don't be like me and get out of the car and be completely out of breath, and because you're so hyped up. I got out and yelled really loud. It, like, took all my breath out. Then he's interviewing me. I'm like,
well, Eric, give me a minute.
yeah. And I didn't remember any of my sponsors. It took Chuck Emery was behind me, and he yelled, "Spooky Pinball!" Like, yeah, Spooky Pinball is one of them. I still don't know the rest of them.
You got out there.
Yeah.
It went fine.
And the second time, up at Darlington when we won, he gets out and he looks at me and goes, "You finally made it here." So it took me long enough, huh?
Yeah.
7 years.
7 years. All right, I got some.
Yeah,
some
you're
years
fine.
to go.
Hey, there's people who have raced over 10 years and haven't won.
I don't want to get to that point.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Okay.
get that far down the road, but
I mean,
who knows?
And it's getting quicker in our class.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. The competition's not getting weaker, that's for sure.
No. And everybody's finding out they can tune their cars now and do some fun things.
Yeah.
I think next year we're getting fuel cells, though. Mandatory fuel cells. Not this year, next year.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad thing. I think I've seen a couple gas tanks drop off onto the racetrack.
I don't think I've seen them fall out. I know I've definitely seen them leaking bad.
I've done that.
Yeah? Yours fall?
No,
just leaking?
the gas cap didn't click in there.
Oh, there. That'll happen,
That'll do
yeah.
it.
Cole Farrell come into the pits after a heat race. Hey, you're spraying gas all over me. Sorry, we'll fix that.
You're sure it's gas? Yeah, it's quite positive.
It smelled an awful lot like gas. Yeah. Yeah. No, we did that.
I can say the petty car you have.
The Superbird.
I loved racing against it because obviously I got the Earnhardt car.
Yeah.
So when the second I saw that, I'm like, I can't wait to get in a picture with that car. I don't care what happens in the picture. I want to be in that shot.
It's an exact clone of a Superbird. You can't tell them apart if they're side by side.
Yeah, it's all only missing the big wang.
Well, I mean, those things are way too expensive, so I guess we're just gonna have to do without.
We can make an aluminum one
I
for
can
you.
get one of those SXT wings and just put it on the.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
maybe we'll do that.
there's a couple people had them on their cars not too long ago.
I'll try to find out how to color match it, but Travis Johnson hooked me up with a paint job. We can.
Yeah, just
see
hunt
if
them
we
down
can
to get it done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a sponsor on the car. Call Jerry's Automotive for all your body shop needs, by the way.
Perfect.
There you go.
The only person to plug their sponsors on here.
See?
That is who you want to be sponsoring right there. Yeah, most of my sponsors, I go around the car and be like, yeah, I'm talking about you as I'm going.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the social media posts and things too.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to bring up. The very humorous videos the last year with the hobby stock.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh.
I don't know. The page has kind of died down. Like I said, that car is tired, so I don't know if we'll have any more Rodney videos, but we'll have something.
Rodney, that's what the car was.
We'll try to find something to fill the time.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. You plan on pushing that channel, trying to go forward with it, or?
I do want to get back into the hobby stock thing for sure. It was fun. Something about a big, heavy car with rear-wheel drive it's fun. That car's tired. It's lived out its life, so we gotta retire him. Just gotta find money and find a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, so.
The money thing in hobby stocks is not fun to find.
Yeah, that's what we're finding out now. So we'll get there eventually.
I think all my sponsorship money has gone towards just getting the hobby stock to where it is right now.
Well, wait till you put tires on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have the expensive tires yet. They don't last very long with that big, heavy car.
No, it was spinning quite a bit in the rears too, or?
Yeah, that might have been my setup. It might have been my right foot, and then it might have been my lack of talent. I don't know. I was going through tires. I was going through tires like crazy, though.
And I've seen people swap them side to side so they're not chopping each other apart. And
yeah.
I don't know. I have no clue what to expect hopping in from a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder into that at all.
I think you'll be all right.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I had the same concerns. It was just completely different from a light front-wheel drive car with 4 cylinders to a big, heavy V8 rear-wheel drive. They're heavy. And, I mean, even when you drive a pickup truck in the wintertime, you got it.
Yeah.
It's no longer point and shoot though.
No, you do got to develop a right foot with those DOT tires, that's for sure. But it's fun. Oversteer is always better than understeer.
I guess it does make it better that on the Neon we don't have very wide tires even with them.
No.
But they've got a heck of a lot more push than a Neon's going to anyway. So
Yeah.
it's going to be kind of the same concept, not really as far as tire width goes.
Yeah.
A lot more power, obviously.
You got a lot more momentum to stop getting into the corner. That's something to kind of get used to. But track's wide, you'll be all right.
You race just primarily at Darlington when you have a hobby stock out, or
Yeah, I took her to Dubuque a couple times. Dubuque was always fun with the higher banks, but most of the time, I mean, I live 5 blocks away from the racetrack, so I just got I barely got to put it on a trailer to get it down there. It's pretty convenient living in Darlington and having the track right next door. So, yeah, Lafayette County's fun. It's a great track. They do a good job. The promoters do a great job, and the fans are always having local fans
they're always there.
It's always it's a spirit booster. So, Darlington's good. Dubuque's good. I never had the hobby stock down to Macokota or anywhere else though.
Yeah, I'm kind of cautious about that.
Yeah, without a wall, Makokota's a bit intimidating. It treated me well in the 4-cylinder. I'd like to get the Neon back down there just because it seems like the gearing situation was always better. Well, the one time I went, seems like I run out of gear in Darlington and have to shift, and I don't like doing that. So.
Yeah, a 3/8 mile track, a little bit longer straights, and
yep.
I found that Macokota, I'd go to wind out the car. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm lifting already to get in the corner.
Yeah, I don't have to bounce off the chip for the entire front stretch.
Wait till you see. I'll show you outside. I don't know if you saw it yet, but at Lancaster we took quite a big hit.
Oh boy,
in the front.
Okay.
And it broke the rack, and we didn't know it.
Oh.
And I went down and raced Macokota.
With a broken steering rack.
Broken steering rack,
Yikes.
And it sheared off right past the solid point, right?
Okay.
And it felt like I was steering a dump truck. It was heavy steering.
Did it at least turn?
Yeah, it turned.
All right.
You had to fight it, though. It felt like you were driving on the driest track you've ever been on.
Okay.
And trying to get in the corner, right?
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know. And we were looking it over here, and oh yeah, that's completely split in half right there.
Oh, it turns out my steering system is broke.
And the right mount that's supposed to hold that rack down apparently has been riding back and forth. So the right side of the rack has been moving the entire time.
Well, I mean, who needs that?
Yeah, you don't need a set toe in a car. Why would that be a thing?
No, just change the geometry anytime you hit a bump.
Yeah. So every time I'm like, it's not turning. There's why.
Well, we figured out why. That's a good reason for it to not turn.
And it was probably cracked for a while too. And I mean, like I just told you, that car's got over 10 years of racing on it.
Yeah, is that the same steering rack you've had in the entire time?
Factory.
Yeah, it's had some miles on it.
Yeah. And Chambers drove it, and it had issues locking all the way left at one point. And that never happened to me until Lancaster 2 years ago. And I was coming to the white flag, taking the lead in a race that I led the whole thing and let a guy go by me.
Oh, no.
And then I come out of the corner, and it hooked left and stayed left. I'm like, oh, no.
No.
I almost put it through the billboards.
Giving up a lead, I might as well just say
I think we finished 6th. And it was bad.
Ugh.
It was singing too, and that time the track was pretty rough, and you could see it. Everybody come out of the corner. Oh, wow!
Yeah.
I mean, you might have been in the hobby stock. Did you race Lancaster at all? Or
I never had. I went to Lancaster once with the Neon. I never did take the hobby stock over there.
Let's see what. Oh yeah. Speaking of Brad Lamont's car, you got.
Sorry, Brad.
The flip.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I remembered.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing a lot of people remembered because it was like right after I started driving the thing. I think it was my 4th night out.
Yeah.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, what do you want to know about it?
How did that go about, and how did it feel? Just walk us through this process here.
Well, it kind of started let's put it this way. I don't even remember how that race started. It's one of those moments that time stood still as it was happening, so it's one of those things that's locked in memory forever. But I don't remember how the race started. I remember filtering into like third or maybe fourth after the start. And at the time, I was running sixth or seventh, so third or fourth felt great.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Terry, that was the year Terry won all the trophies
Yes.
with his Nissan. And I don't,
Maybe missed one race.
Yeah. And I don't remember who was in second, if it was Eric or Dylan Cool with his black and purple 83, but there was a couple pretty quick people up front, and I'm running third behind them, and I thought, hey, this is pretty great. I think I might have this race car thing figured out because I've got, race car driver's wizard brain, and I thought running third place was totally fine. So got to the point where I thought, well, what do we got to do to see if we can try to win this thing? And I thought, well, you just got to drive it harder. So get to 3 and 4 the next time around. That's exactly what I do. I send her on into 3 and promptly run out of talent. Ended up jumping the cushion, ended up in the marbles, and smacked the wall pretty hard with the right side. Thought I had it pretty flush, so I thought I might be okay. And then I look to my left, and I see I turned third place into about 7th place, and I got mad at myself, so I just stood on it all the way down the straightaway.
Oh no,
Thought, well, if it feels fine going down the straightaway, we'll
fine.
We'll just keep sending it. So that's what I did. It felt fine until I went to turn into 1, because the front end, that turned just fine. The problem was the rear end, that didn't stop turning in. So all of a sudden, I'm going down the front stretch, the fastest part of the racetrack, dead sideways. And I remember thinking, if this catches, I'm in for a ride. And in that regard, I was right, because right about the time I thought that, it dug in.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I went straight up. I don't think I went to the right. I think I went up. And I don't know what my hang time was, but I was in the air long enough to have that realization of, oh, I'm rolling a car over. This isn't so bad. And the only reason I thought that was because I hadn't landed yet.
Yeah.
Because right as soon as I had that thought, smack, hit the ground. Oh, no, never mind. This sucks. And then I thought, oh, Mom is going to be so mad.
That's the first thought. Mom's going to be mad.
Mom is going to be so mad because her and Dad were down off turn 4 watching. So luckily, they didn't have a very good view of it. Luckily. They just knew that I wrecked really good. And I will say this. I stuck the landing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I landed on the wheels right in the middle of the track. Did you nose up right next to me when I was stationary finally?
Potentially, yeah.
I thought I saw someone was kind of like right there, and I thought it might be you. I was always trying to figure out who that was to get a good idea of what it looked like from outside the car. I wrecked that one. I wrecked that one good. That was the last time that car did anything. I think I caved in everything on the right side of that car.
Yeah.
I don't know what damage came from the rollover and what damage came from the wall, or why the rear end stopped working when it did, but
I'm gonna guess somewhere between the lateral link bars being bent out of control, and
they definitely were caved in.
Yeah, they don't like that too much.
Looking at it when I finally got it back on the trailer, they were all bent straight down. That whole assembly in that.
Well, that was probably after it rolled.
And the cross member that had just collapsed entirely. Yeah, so luckily I'd bought a car couple weeks before that. I was going to use it as a parts car.
You were prepared.
Yeah, I was going to use it as a parts car. I had no ambition of building a new car for myself, but drug that out of the weeds. Thankfully, Travis Johnson was good enough to let me take up some space at his shop and strip that down and build it in his shop. I think I took a month, 6 weeks off, and then we were right back at her in what was now, it was black at the time, and now it became the blue car. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember it coming back. Like I said, as the blue car, and I was the most excited about that. Like, yes, 2 classic paint jobs.
Hey, yeah, I do love a good tribute car.
That's the only reason I got noticed in Makokata last year.
Hey,
they said, "Oh, and the tribute for doing it like Dale." They said,
you go.
Like, okay, that works.
Yeah.
If that's the only reason you notice me, I'll take it.
Right.
There you go.
So let's see. Yeah, that's what I just brought up there. So, how did you make the jump into the hobby stock? How was that like?
That kind of just became an opportunity. I was working at Virtues at the time with Brett Wilson, and just I don't even remember if someone had said something to me or if I just asked. But I asked her if she had. Her and Brad had that 243 that Bryson was driving. And I just asked if they knew of any hobby stocks for sale, and they had theirs for sale. So they sold it to me turnkey. So I thought, well, shoot, there's not going to be any better opportunity than this. So I just
Paint it up and drive.
Yeah, peeled off that old wrap. I think I peeled off 3 or 4 other layers of wrap and paint. So it's definitely that car's been around. But yeah, it kind of the opportunity presented itself. It was something I wanted to do, so I pulled the trigger and went with it. Car was pretty tough. It had been bent up, and I don't know if it was bent when I bought it. It was definitely bent after I got done driving it.
Yeah, as you see in some of his videos. Oh,
yeah, the right rear sagged like a diaper, but
yeah,
you know,
it was bad looking. So you're not I think you're basically the first 4-cylinder guy to jump up the hobby stock from our set group.
Hey,
because then right after you, Dylan hopped up.
Yep, Dylan was there.
Mostly it was like sport mod guys hopping down, or bigger car guys coming down.
Well, 90% of the hobby stock field is the Bennetts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bennett. Yeah. There's only one of them that's not related.
Right. Yeah, a couple of them came from Dubuque, but yeah, for the most part, it was just Bennetts. Bennetts galore.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're fun, rowdy group to be hanging around sometimes.
Yeah, no, they always treated me well. So
they've helped me out quite a bit on advice, and they've given me a bunch of body parts for the hobby stock that I needed.
Yeah.
And something I learned about my car is like parts of my car were from Matt's first ever car.
Holy smokes!
So my car's been around a while too, I guess.
You know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mine sat in the weeds for like 2 years. And
it's just a little surface rust.
Yeah. Well, there's not hardly any rust on it.
See, you don't have any problems.
Yeah.
Don't say no problems. It hasn't driven, so I can't tell you that. I think the biggest problem in my car is going to be the one behind the steering wheel. That's going to be the biggest problem.
You'll get there.
You can give me all the tools in the world. If I can't drive it, there's the issue.
You'll get there.
But which one did you like better? I kind of know what you're probably going to say, but
I like the hobby stock. The oversteer is just better than understeer. Having the rear wheel drive, I prefer it over the front wheel drive. I think ultimately the lap times shook out to be about the same. I probably have faster lap times in the Neon than the hobby stock.
Yeah, definitely now.
Big old heavy car with good weight that kind of keeps everything planted. I like that with the hobby stock. The Neon felt pretty light, especially you get a big old rutted up track kind of. Especially after you roll one over.
Yeah. They bounce a little bit.
Yeah. So
I have witnessed a couple hobby stocks dig in and go over too.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Just out of my coconut.
Yeah.
The guy you guys built the roof for, he flipped his car down there.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that you go over the berm there too. And, well, he did it on the back stretch right where the lip was at. He kind of got pushed sideways. They were pushing him sideways. And his car dug in and went over probably 3-4 times.
Okay, so his was better than mine.
Yeah. Yours is a 9, his is a 10.
Yeah. You'll take the 9s when they come.
For sure. So, what's better, when you don't compete and you got a lot of friends, or when you compete and you start losing a little bit of friends? Which one's better, do you think?
I don't have friends to begin with, so I didn't have a whole lot to lose. But no, it was...
Oh, thanks. That hurts my feelings.
Well, apparently I didn't drive rough enough to lose those friends.
Yeah.
Here.
I never had any problem with you racing against you.
I appreciate that.
I don't know how you thought about me, but
no, that was fine.
But when you started driving, it was only my first year in the Neon, and second year in the Neon. I didn't know what I was doing in this car yet. I still am not great, but
I guess I don't know if I had anything happen that I have any problems with.
That dang 55 car.
Yeah. I think the last time I remember anything was Dubuque. I think you had a problem, and I had to shimmy to your inside, and I ended up rubbing down your door. But that was about the only time I remember rubbing into you.
Probably the night I blew the transmission out of my car.
That sounds about right. I was right behind you. I had someone to my right, so I couldn't go that way, and I had to go in towards the track. I had to squeeze between you and a tractor tire, and I think I peeled some black aluminum out of my bodywork later that night.
Yeah, because I was missing pieces. I do remember this vividly.
That was me.
So that I don't know if you've ever taken a transmission apart in a Neon.
Not in a Neon.
So they have these roller bearings.
Yeah.
Inside the top left part of the transmission, whatever.
Yeah.
The casing you would think would be something important for those, right?
It should be, yeah.
It's built out of plastic.
Okay.
So what had
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
with my transmission is I was flooring it down the front stretch, about to lift for the corner, and the plastic let loose.
Of course.
So the roller bearings found their way in about everywhere.
To the rest of the places. Yeah.
Shot through the freaking casing of the transmission at one point.
Oh man.
And one got embedded in the casing. We're like, oh, yeah, this casing's fine. Look, it's cracked. That's not a crack. That's a bearing.
That's a hole.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Somehow we still had third gear, so we finished the race in third gear.
There you go.
But
That's all you need.
kept popping out of gear, so it's kind of like
Hold it in there.
driving 25 mile an hour for the last lap because I
Yeah.
just wanted to finish. It doesn't get better for me in the Dirt Nationals. My first 2 years, second year, there was a pin missing in my computer or something like that.
Oh, geez.
So Eric ended up letting me drive that.
See, you don't need pins in the hobby stock. You just need to know how a distributor works.
There's
and
like
timing
two
right.
wires that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, you can strip out most of that harness on a Neon.
So yeah, Eric ended up letting me drive his car that night.
Okay.
Because it was right after my grandpa had passed away.
Yep.
And he looked at me and goes, this race matters to you more. Get in my car and see if you fit.
That's nice of him.
So, yeah, and then I drove it like it was mine, and then middle of me driving it like mine, I'm like,
This isn't actually mine.
what if I wreck his car? And then 2 seconds later, my brain's like, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He'll get over it.
And he's like, I'm glad you drove it that way, otherwise you would never have driven it again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had similar incidents with friends or anything like that, or you just said a lot. You didn't think you had many friends.
There was a time I broke my arm. Josh Chambers drove my car for a little bit. It might have been a mistake because it gave him the itch, and then he built another car and
And then he just won everything.
He took all our trophies.
So
I shouldn't
you
have
let
done that.
Eric leave, and then you brought somebody
I
back.
brought Josh Chambers back. Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry, guys.
Well, and then he dominates and gets a Honda and dominates even more.
Well, I mean, I can't really help it. He let me build the car at his place for a winter there, and he helped me out a lot. I mean, he's the Neon Whisperer. He's got his hands in every neon down there. So
if he doesn't know it, then it must be brand new.
Yeah. he got me set up pretty good, so I always appreciated that.
Oh, yeah, I remember going down there. You guys are all, Henneman, just
Cole Farrell.
Cole Farrell.
Several neons in that shed all at one time.
Yeah. That was a good group to be down there. I wasn't always welcome down there, but there's a couple times.
That was a pretty fun time.
I think so. I think I annoy them more than anything. I stopped down there. Oh, yep, here he comes again. Just come to talk for about 10 minutes.
Well.
But he's like you said, he's willing to drop a dime. He's going to help you out.
Yeah,
if there's an issue.
He had no problem helping me get the thing set up, so I gotta always appreciate that.
I think it was championship night when my car wouldn't run. There's some wiring issue.
Yeah.
And I pulled down by you guys, and Chambers popped the hood. You just get your crap on. I'm gonna work on your car.
He's got his hands in most cars down there, so yeah, he's good to have around.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you have ever had an issue. I've asked a couple Neon guys. They've all said, yeah, it's kind of an issue. The crankshaft sensor in the back.
Yeah.
You ever had it short out?
Oh, yeah.
Car off?
Yeah.
Now, see, it's a common thing.
Yeah.
We need to time travel and tell them whatever they're doing wrong needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I broke a couple of those things in my day.
And when they ask why, is it because that's going to be a race car?
Because
one
it's
day.
a race car, and we need a high performance model.
More power.
Chrysler, you know better.
Let's put VVT in these things right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No. I don't know. I'm the odd guy who doesn't like BVT.
I've never tinkered with it, so I don't know.
I've never driven it, so that might be why.
I
But
just know they go fast, and I don't like it when other people have them. So
I feel like constant torque is better than high RPM torque.
yeah, they do sound good when they get up in there in the road.
Oh yeah, when they switch the cams, you can hear it go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But there's just I don't know. I like the constant pull. I know that the second I put my foot back on the pedal, it's going to pull me
It's
either
less.
into a situation or out of the situation I was in.
It's less to go wrong.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about that second cam breaking on us, I guess.
Or in Chambers' case, he won like 3 races in a row, and then looked at his car and realized he didn't even have the VTEC plugged in.
Of course.
So the cams never changed.
Why would he need VTEC?
Yeah, God, just slap us in the face while we're at it because we're too slow.
Now he's winning by a lap again. Great.
Well, now he's got a new car.
Oh,
Because Cole's got his old
Cole
car.
bought his car.
Yep, and Cole's going to be fast this year.
Cole will be good.
And Chambers has that, I call it the minivan.
What did he buy?
He's got another Honda.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a Civic. I think it's probably a Civic. The ones that look like a minivan. They're kind of like a newer style hatch.
One of the newer ones.
I don't know what year, but in my brain I want to say like an 03, 04 kind of year-ish.
Yeah,
I might be wrong on that too.
But
But
take all our trophies again.
he was on Done Right at Dubuque the last race for that.
Really? Okay.
And I watched him come around and I'm like, why are they letting a minivan run with the 4 cylinders? This is weird. Then it zooms in a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's a car. That's Chambers.
Oh, that's Chambers.
Yeah. Because he can win in anything.
Yeah, of course.
Give him the mom van and he's still going to wax us.
Give him a PT Cruiser. Let's see him make one of them fast.
We have nicknames for those.
Well, I know J.R. Kingery's got one. He tried driving that a couple times.
Eric and I joke around and call them the PT losers.
Yeah.
It's not an insult because some of them I've seen can be quick.
Yeah.
But he had a street PT Cruiser.
And
we hated driving it. He let me drive it one time and I was like, I feel like I'm in danger driving this thing.
You are. They're not good cars. They're not good.
It's like the underneath of a Neon.
Yeah.
Shoved on a high.
Made ugly.
Yeah, and they're really top heavy.
Oh, wow.
They've got more space in the back, but they're really top heavy.
Yeah.
And they lean a lot more than.
I always wanted to see JR get that thing running and see what he could do with it.
Did he ever race it at Darlington?
I know it was out a couple times. I don't know how many times. It's been a while. I don't even know if he still has it.
And there was another guy who had one down at Dubuque that wasn't him. We thought it was him at
There's
first.
2 PT Cruiser race cars in the world.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Because Eric and I were like, oh, is that Kingery? And we started joking about PT Loser, not poking fingers at anybody, like I said, but it's just fun to say.
Yeah.
And then he walked up to us and said, hey, how's it going? That's my car. I'm like, that's not who we thought you were.
Holy smokes. All right. There's more than one of those in existence.
And I'm sure 2 4s in them. And
Yeah.
which is a good motor if you can get them oiled properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Let's just put Chambers in one of them. Maybe
Yeah, he doesn't need anything.
handicap him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe take a spark plug wire off.
Yeah, run on 3.
Yeah. He'd still win.
Oh, I know. I know. He'll figure it out.
We had one that I think we won a heat race in it, pulled it in, and the timing had jumped.
Oh.
No.
And it was bad because we tried to roll it back in time,
Yeah.
and it stopped.
Yeah.
So
Yikes.
it ran into something.
Yeah.
So then Eric looks at me and goes, all right, so what we're going to do is loosen off the cam gear there.
Yeah.
We're going to rotate that backwards, so it's not rotating the gear back, it's just rotating the cam back.
Yeah.
Because we had a cam tool. And then we're going to set it back in time with the other cam.
We'll just hope it works.
And it worked.
Perfect.
There you go.
Eric's like, I told you it would work, but I did not think it was going to work.
Well, I mean, some redneck engineering.
He does that to me a lot. Like the last night that I can remember, I had a ball joint and wheel bearing out. The wheel was going like this.
Oh, yeah.
Eric looks at it and I'm like, so would you run it? He goes,
Yeah, well, nothing's holding it on, so.
He's like, you know what? I'll tell you this. I would run it. I would run it. Yes. So we went out. I think that's the win night that we had.
Really?
You won on a floppy wheel.
Yeah. It wouldn't turn on the high side anymore.
I'm surprised it turned at all.
Yeah. We found the bottom side somehow and almost gave that race away. Noah almost beat me because I overdrove the bottom in the last corner, but
Well,
I figured it could only hook and it could only stick on the bottom, so just throw it in really deep and then get a good run out, but it doesn't work that way. That's a high side move.
well, it worked.
Yeah.
And I've done it again. I typically jump off and start talking about my stories.
That's how it goes.
I don't have them, so you might as well.
You got any more? You said you had a story, that one story. Did we already cover that? Or
My only good story is that rollover.
that's the only good story?
I don't know if I did anything else with my career yet.
I don't know.
Got a grand total of like 2 second-place finishes. I'm not.
You know, that's more than some people.
Well, yeah. I think my highlight of my hobby stock career was a 6th place finish that I lucked into because everyone else kept wrecking. That's the only success I found in that category.
That sounds like my first 2 years racing.
Yeah.
A 5th in points, probably because there was 6 cars out there.
Well.
And I was there weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, just showing up every week is really good for points.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent about it. I mean, you're not going to wreck out every week and do anything good. But
Yeah. If you don't make the feature, you're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, I've never had any issues with you, and I don't think so anyway. I don't think
Great.
I've ever... But that's the problem, though. I never get out of the car mad. I get out of the car mad, there's probably an issue. I'm always happy. I don't know how you are.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple times I got annoyed, but I don't hold that grudge anymore. So
I think there was a time. I think you got Chambers spun out or Henneman spun out or something like that, and you guys got all hot getting out of the car.
I shoved Tyler into the wall. He was mad at me for it. I might have deserved it. No.
It really helps when you guys park right next to each other. Right?
Yeah.
You don't gotta go too far.
4-cylinder row down there by the end of the entry gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was. I remember
Is it
that.
technically going into their pit if their pit is literally on your
If
line?
we're all just connected.
Yeah. Does it count?
I don't know.
Technically, you can't get disqualified if you're not going into somebody else's pit to start a fight.
Well, he didn't try to fight. He was just mad and yelled at me.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might have deserved it. Who knows? I don't remember. That was a few years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, I remember things very, very vividly. The dumbest things ever.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my first year throwing the car into the bottom of the corner, thinking it's going to stick, thinking I'm not doing anything wrong. Really, I'm pushing up into the guy next to me.
Yeah, I've done that a time or two.
Bumping into Brad Lamont, and
Try
he was
not to.
pitting across from us and didn't know it.
Oh.
I get out of the car, and I'm sitting in the window, and he gets out of his car, looks over from there, throws his arms up in the air. And then I throw my arms up in the air, like, what happened?
Sorry.
I didn't even realize I hit him, because sometimes you don't feel it.
Well, I mean, we don't get mirrors. We don't get spotters. If they're not within a very narrow field of view, it's kind of hard.
They got to get, like, halfway through your door for you to see them.
Yeah, and if you're lucky, you might hear them kind of coming. But otherwise you get, especially if you have full containment seat, you get, like, here.
Right here, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't turn. You're not going, oh, let me put my blinker on real quick.
Yeah.
Check the lanes.
Yeah. It's tricky.
I always love that when somebody's like, I was there, why'd you come up? It's like, well, I went to my door, I didn't see you, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. And it's a very team thing in my mind. I mean, it might be a little different when, I don't know if you were the only one working on the car or you have a team of people. Like, we have everybody hands in, so I hate saying I. Unless it's a screw-up thing, then I'll be the first one to say I.
Yeah. Dad helped a lot.
Yep.
He helped me for not this past winter, but before and into last spring, we had transmissions out, in and out, and in and out and in. We don't even have a hoist, so we were doing all that on the ground.
More funny videos.
Yeah. Glad someone got enjoyment out of that.
Well, you recorded it. It's not my fault.
I hate working on driveline.
Yeah?
Transmissions suck, especially when you don't have a hoist. No, Dad's been helpful. Like, I got Travis and Travis Johnson and Steve Corley and those guys out at his place helped me build the thing. Chambers helped a lot. Those guys, Tyler and Cole, helped a little bit on the car. So those guys have been there. But yeah, a lot of it's just self-funded. A lot of work I just do myself. A lot of it's self-taught, thanks to YouTube and Google and Haynes manuals, and a lot of it's trial and error, I suppose. So,
see, the neons are fun because once you find a good setup, it's just kind of stick with it and go.
Yeah.
But the problem is you just about touch anything with your wheels, and then you're back to square one.
Yeah, those spindles aren't the most robust. Those knuckles, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, this is a little bit behind, so
It's a little bit behind, so
Yeah,
we're
so-
probably at 40-some minutes.
maybe 42. So yeah, what are you thinking about Beers and Gears here so far?
So far, it's been great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know if I said anything too terribly dumb yet, so
Wow.
No,
let's call that a win.
it's been very fun. I think I was probably the downfall of this. When I start skipping off to my own thing.
Whatever.
That's how you keep the timer up.
Right.
So.
I feel like a lot of my stories are going to be similar to your stories. We drove similar cars, so
Yeah.
obviously yours is probably less bent than mine was previously, but
Well, it's been a while since I've looked at it. I got to figure that out yet. I need a nose for that. What nose do you have on that car?
what is it? The 5-star bodies or something like
Is
that?
this a Camaro nose?
Camaro
that you
nose.
Fit on there?
Yeah, it's like a asphalt late model nose.
I'll have to figure that out. My neon bumper was all beat up, so I had to throw that one away.
The only bumper I had was a factory one that Dylan had put plastic around the bottom, kind of like an asphalt bumper,
Okay, yeah.
but he didn't cut it out when he had it,
Right.
So he had an overheating issue, which turns out the overheating issue is lack of air to the radiator.
Yeah.
Which we figured out when Ben Wolverton crawled underneath my car with shears and cut out the
And all of a sudden it was cool, yeah.
And it kind of looked cool, and I built an air dam on it for that part of the year.
Yeah.
And it had a mouth, and then I ended up putting the cool shark eyes on there, or snake eyes on there.
That's right, yeah.
Which are still on it now, it's just not on aluminum housings on the factory headlights.
Right.
But,
yeah. No, I got to get a bumper together to get that one back out on the track. We'll get her out a couple times this year.
have you seen the new 4-cylinder IMCA nose?
They make a specific one now?
Now they have a legal racing nose cone for them.
Does it look good?
I don't like it. It looks weird. It looks like a hybrid between 5 different cars, and instead of just build one cool looking thing.
Now I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
We'll get a live reaction shot.
Yeah, here we go. He'll look it up,
IMCA
and we'll see what he thinks.
4-cylinder.
Yeah. 4-cylinder nose cone. It's probably something resembling a Honda-ish looking thing. I don't like it, but I hear some people are fond of it.
Nothing's coming up.
Yeah, it might be a more common. Yeah, they released it at the Indianapolis show like this year, or right when they did the new stock car bodies. They released that.
Maybe we won't get a live. I'll have to edit this part out.
There you go.
I look it up, but
Oh yeah, your phone's recording all this.
yeah. Let's see this. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm on here.
Yeah, at least that's still set up.
Yeah, we'll need that later for our race line roulette. It's
Yes.
a fun thing to do.
Oh.
I don't know how many people actually watch that session, but
Enough to keep it going.
let's go. IMCA for stock.
Oh.
They call it for stock now, I think. Nose cone. Piece, nose piece. That'll work. That's
Arrow bumpers. Maybe they removed it already.
Maybe there was a ruling like that is ugly.
Maybe it was so poorly received they got rid of it already.
It's very possible.
And I know it wasn't like an April Fool's thing, because it wasn't April Fool's. God. There's got to be some sort of existing... There it is. It's ugly.
What do we got?
It's a horrible picture because I have it split. What is that, right?
I don't like that.
It's like a Camaro / Honda
/ Mustang / all of them combined into one.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Blake?
For any other car, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, it's terrible.
Yes. Which is sad to say, because there's a lot of characteristics from the Camaro nose that is on there, but then they ruin it from the actual inlays and the headlight shaping and everything.
So are we supposed to take those white plastic pieces out, or
that's a good
are we
question.
supposed to keep them?
I think those are stickers. Yeah, because that's a rivet in there. So those are stickers.
Maybe if we just leave it all black, it might look a little bit better.
Yeah,
Well,
or
that's
put
the
just
thing.
a different
I
color
saw
there.
just a black one, and I still, in my personal opinion, there's a new stock car. That's not helpful. There's another. It disappeared.
Yeah, I'll just get one of the Camaro bumpers.
Yeah.
Throw that on the neon. It'll just look really, really weird.
What are you talking about? Oh, Camaro nose is on there? They look nice. You do it right.
Okay.
I've got a Camaro nose on my car.
Oh, okay.
Not that style one. I had like the new NASCAR style one.
Oh, yeah.
If you flip that, there's more there.
Oh, yeah. Different angles.
Oh.
Here we go. Different angles.
Looks even worse.
Yeah.
We got canards? What do we do? I don't think we're going fast enough to need those.
I think they're very ugly.
Yeah, that's it painted, I guess.
Yeah.
Too much going on there.
It looks like one of those futuristic movies, and they're trying to make it look like a future car.
Well, you got the I touched things. You got the air inlet at the bottom, like it's a NASCAR stock car that you're gonna take tape off or put tape on.
And this guy actually has the mesh on it.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't. Mine's just an open mouth.
Yeah. Right. I don't know if I'll Maybe if it's really, really cheap.
Yeah.
Probably about $250.
Okay, not gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
I can get a neon bumper set from Rock Auto for cheaper than that.
Yeah, my Camaro nose was really cheap. That's why I got it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Just an old plastic bumper that I can put over the cover to put over the bumper I've already got on.
Yeah, I wanted to make my car look a little unique, so that's why.
Yeah.
That's why we went with it, because there was like maybe 2 or 3 cars around this area that were doing that.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot of cars have that.
Stock bumper's boring.
Yeah. And it looks like a grandma car.
Yeah.
I want to make it look like it goes fast.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I've had a few compliments. They've noticed it online anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that I post a lot of things about the car.
Well, I mean, that's what sponsors are there.
Exactly. Weekly updates is what I do.
There you go.
Nothing makes a sponsor happier than you getting their name out there.
That's
And
right.
you've already plugged them, so.
One of them, anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also, called Bronco Construction. Steve might have retired, but his son Kyle is still in the game. So
There you go.
call Steve or Kyle Bronco. They'll get you hooked up with any construction needs.
Oh, yeah. And there's probably a million construction companies on cars.
Oh, yeah.
Construction companies, towing companies,
Body shops. Yeah.
body shops. You see a lot of
A
that.
lot of body shops.
It's
It's like they make money off of our racing habits or something.
yeah. So you're going to wreck it.
You're gonna wreck it, and then you're gonna pay me to fix it.
Yeah. Luckily, we do the body work here
Yeah.
for my stuff. We
Well.
paint our own stuff. And,
Good old rattle can.
well, we got the actual air guns.
Oh
and everything.
shoot! You're official.
Dad went to college for it. I went to college for it for 1 semester.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I've liked it because Dad did it.
Yeah. See, that Skull Bandit car I had, that was all rattle cans from Ace.
Man, you made it look good. Made it look good for what it
rattle
was.
cans from Ace.
So, power steering or no power steering? What do you think?
I do like power steering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I put power steering back in the neon. It's just so much easier getting around the pits.
So the
Uh-huh.
46 hobby stock this year.
Yeah.
You know, the Cold Trickle looking car.
Yeah.
He didn't have power steering for most of the year.
I would highly recommend you get it. It's
Yeah.
so much easier driving.
Kevin
the car.
Robbins told him right away. He's like, "You need to go here. You could get the cheaper version of the right thing."
Put a
And
power steering pump on there.
ugh,
I gotta figure out how to get one back on the neon.
I couldn't imagine it. Well, I think they turn like butter. I mean,
You got power steering on that thing?
no,
No, you don't.
I've never had power steering in any of my cars.
Once you get rolling, it's
No,
not such a big deal.
Even in the pits, as long as the rack's not broke, the car turns for me.
Yeah.
I just don't like doing
Or
it.
and you get the alignment correct.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
once the alignment's actually proper,
That's a good point. If you set the car upright, it probably drives better.
for sure, I
Yeah.
could be the first one to attest to it.
Yeah.
I asked for help on the setup.
Yeah.
The week after, I'm like, we were pushing it out of the guy's shop actually, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna take 3 of us to push, you know, all that stuff. And then the car took off. I'm like, oh no, and it's about in a highway. I'm like, I gotta jump in this thing before some car smokes it.
My race car is gonna wreck on the highway. State Patrol's gonna have a field day with that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know what would have been bad. There's no insurance on race cars. So.
No.
no, there's not.
Well, I think this one we definitely got to get you back on because I went so far off the beaten trail that we lost so much. But we really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having me.
quite a bit of fun.
That was good meeting you.
I think people are going to like this one. There's a lot of good stories here.
I hope so.
And there's not been a lot of quiet times. The quiet times have been in the last maybe 5 minutes here. But it's been good. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. So
I
this
appreciate
is...
It's been Beers and Gears episode 12. It was good having you on. Until next time.
Hey guys, don't forget to like
Comment
and subscribe
to the Beers and Gears podcast.
Come on, people!
Get that flag, stand on that roof. Whoa, I just wanna race my race. I just wanna race.